Alright, I haven't made a video in some time. I seen in my last two videos that when I touched on this topic that I got a lot of unnecessarily hate. And it's typically from people who don't have a college education that will typically steer this way. Reason why I haven't made a video in some time is because I finally got my doctorate. As you can see here, I got it shipped in. So there we go. What I wanted to touch on more of after going through that program, I learned I was wrong. I was talking about the earth is flat. In reality, it's not flat. What I found out through doing mathematics, excuse me, what I realized doing in mathematics is that the earth is actually a curve. And I'm going to break it down for you guys. So we know the sun gets its sunlight from the surrounding planets, all right? And my argument isn't about the other planets. The other planets are more of a, 348 degrees, not 360 like a circle. They're 348. The reason for that, because the planets are a lot older than Earth. Earth is give or take about 27,000 years old. Whereas these planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Mars, Venus, Mercury, they range about 20 to 30 million years old. So we know that light is casted from planets, right? They cast this light to the center of the universe, and the center being not necessarily our universe, because we're, if you understand parallel universe, again, I'm not arguing about that. We can talk about that later. What I'm talking about is our universe. So we understand that they reflect the light to the sun, and as a result, the sun reflects the light to this. And a lot of people argue, well, that's not necessarily true because at different points, different buildings or structures will cast shadows. Well, that's not necessarily true. They will cast shadows, but they don't. What they do and what you're seeing is that the earth is a curve, as we can see here. And the reason it's curved is because the mantle is constantly expanding the earth. We have mantle that is creating new crust, and as a result, the earth is constantly expanding. And that's why I say, in about like 20, 30 years, the earth is going to resemble more of a circle. But currently we're at, I believe, 92 degrees, and we're going to go at that right now. So I'm using my formulas from differential equations and linear algebra. If you want to pick up this book, I highly recommend that you do it. We are working in chapter 9.2. We're going over linear and almost linear systems right there. And we're going to be using this formula. Where is it at? Right there. So when you plug in everything, we have 92 degrees, which is equal to the Earth's atmosphere. And we have 4.97, which is equal to gravity. And then we have pi being 3.174623. All right. Then we have sin dv divided by tan. And then we're going to be plugging in this formula. So let's see what we get. All right, give me a second here. And I'm using a TIA Inspire Texas Instruments. It's a really good calculator. Oh, I'm stupid. TI 84 plus. And enter. And as we see here, we get 99B. So what 99B is equivalent to is, and there's a professor named Lazarus that has gone over this. I'm gonna link his channel, and he does a good job going over this. Give me a sec. Us in reality is that Earth has almost completed its circular rotation. And you might be saying, what about all the NASA and the doctorates and all that? Yeah, they're all correct. I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing that the Earth is a curve. What their argument is that it's a circle, and the reason they say that is because in 20, 30 years it will be more of a 360, just like the other planets. The other planets as of right now, they're 348 degrees. So if we use 497 99B square root exponent. And we use log. Oops. What we're also getting is we're getting the true formation. Because if you guys ever remember during the invasion of Iraq, when the U.S. was dropping missiles and bombs on Baghdad, the problem that they noticed is that when they were over here in D.C., what the configurations and numbers they were getting was very different from the naval ships out in sea. So we'll have the naval ships, we'll have D.C. Because their projections were like this. But if we right here, what we get is 99B. What the naval ships were getting, they were getting, let me plug this in. They were getting, so right here, plugged everything in. They were getting DLV. So what DLV is destination landing vehicle. And that's where they typically get, because that's why in Tehran, in Iraq, a missile killed a couple people and they tried to blame the United States. And if you ever read General Martinez's reports, you'll understand that to some degree it was true, but to some degree it wasn't. But we're not arguing for that. We'll talk about history later on. So back to this. So the Earth can't be a circle, because if we have a circle right here, if we were finally 360 degrees, what would be happening is the temperature and the heat that's being reflected off of the planets, being reflected off of the sun too, it would be heating up the planet. And that's why we'd be getting global warming. The sun rays would pierce right through because Earth's atmosphere is completely weak. And the rays would melt the polar ice caps. That's why we see a lot of talks right now about the solar ice caps being melted. It's because the sun is piercing right through the Earth. So I hope you guys go over this. I would write down this equation. You'll notice that you'll get 99B, and then we'll give you 99B. You work out this equation with everything that you know. You'll get DLV. All right. Again, I am a doctorate. So, I went in, I did the school, I went through math. I did everything that needed to be done, and to me, the math corrects itself. Math is not falsified, but is reality. All right, and I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Go ahead and check out my other videos. You know what? No, I'm not going to say check out my other videos, because those other videos were wrong. This is more precise and scientific, and that's what we in the scientific community are trying to achieve. Nothing is ever set in standard or in path. In reality, we need to figure it out. All right, so we're getting one step closer. Soon we'll be able to colonize Mars, and we'll be able to reflect on how Mars became Mars. All right, see you guys later. Adios.